Hi guys, welcome back, and just going to talk about a couple of things. One, sciatica here with Mike, and then I'm just going to go through a newsletter, go through a couple of like sessions that I'm doing or that I've done, uh, and just a little bit of a recap on the best approach to different injuries, especially when they're new injuries, little niggles, tightnesses. Um, what should you do? Do you go straight away for rehab and strengthening the area, or what should your best approach be? Okay, so Mike, do you want to talk us through? I'll just look that up. Do you want to talk us through? So you're having a little bit of sciatica, is it?
So I think probably for maybe over a year now, I have a bit of sciatica. I kind of got triggered from a long car journey and just that tightness down the glute and left hamstring or that little kind of tension. And it's been there for the most part of a year plus, I'd say. To I managed to do Dublin and do a good time
Yeah,
there and happy with that. And I kind of managed that with needling, and I was doing all the Pilates work as well, which was great.
yeah,
I was doing needling. I was at the physio and kind of work on it, with massage and everything else. I did have an MRI as well, and they said it was a minor nerve root impingement, L5S1, whatever, kind of a
yeah,
minor element there. But my question really is around it's still there, right? To different extents, and certain things it can flare up or it can be a bit less. And my question is there anything I should be doing? Like the bike doesn't trigger it. Car journeys tip kind of do and sitting in the car for a long time. And is there anything I shouldn't be doing in terms of like should I not be stretching the hamstring too hard or doing anything like that? And is there stuff that I could be and should be doing to help me kind of to help like because you hear all types of stuff, decompression therapy and all this kind of nearly everybody I meet has different types of opinions. But it'd be cool to just if there's stuff that I good simple things I should and shouldn't be doing around it, that would be great.
yeah. Let me try look up. Um, Sorry, now I'm gonna try to new window. I'm just going to share my screen for 2 seconds. So one of the first things to do is let's go to this back quiz. One of the first things to do is establish it. Is it the nerve root or is it, say when it's sciatica, right? There's two reasons. It can either be the disc here. So it does sound like it could be a little irritation at L5S1, but that might be a red herring as well. So we want to kind of establish, is it because it's the disc that's causing that nerve down, or is it more like that the piriformis gets tight and that presses on the
Hmm.
sciatic nerve? It's going to give the same symptoms. So in
Yes.
that back quiz, right? This is the test I want you to do.
Hmm.
Let me mute this because I can talk through. So you're going to slump down, grab the bottom of the chair, and then push in. So you're kind of then what that's going to do is compress the disc.
Yeah.
Okay. And I want you to see does that kind of give it, it's not going to give crazy sciatica, but it's give it like a little tingle. Okay.
Is that where you slump on and you kind of start to raise
No,
yeah,
no.
okay, you just
So
slump.
this one is just the 2 feet are down. You
Yeah.
slump, and then with your hands here,
Okay.
sorry, I'm gonna make that bigger if I can. I'll just turn on YouTube here. No, Sky didn't pay for a commercial. All right. Um, yeah. So you see the way I'm grabbing the bottom of the chair?
Yeah.
I'm slumping down and then I'm pushing hard into the chair. And it's going to compress around the disc.
Yeah.
Then the second one is that sciatic nerve test. So that's the, oh, what am I doing? Uh, then sorry, that's not on this. Then, as I said, when you have your leg out and you bend your chin to your chest and
Hmm.
bring the leg up and stretch, and doing those two will just tell you which one is most likely. Because if it's the one where the slump test, it's called, where you're slumping down, but you bring your leg out, then you can do that's going more towards a stretching and like what we call sciatic flossing. So you're going to just um Let me share that one more time. Because then where I go is go to the training section, everyday back hair.
Yes.
I think it's the very last one I have. Sciatic flossing, I'll show this video. But do that first, that test first.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, so we do that test. Um, so what we're doing then is we want to floss it, and essentially, like flossing, you're just moving it up and back to
Hmm.
stop any adhesions on the thing. So you're going to look, your head goes back and your leg goes up. So if you can think about it, right, that is pulling the nerve down towards the foot because your piston toes are going back towards your shin, and that's moving the nerve down towards the foot.
Hmm.
So the head is back, and you're kind of letting it go from the head down here. And then we'll do the opposite. We'll bring the leg in and coming down, and that's going to pull it now back up the leg to the foot. So we're moving it up and we're moving it back down. And the idea with that is your floss, like just like plaque, if you're moving, they're moving the nerve so that nothing is on the nerve, nothing is irritating the nerve.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we could just do that like 10 times. You could follow that along. Look, great thing with this was you'll know pretty quick, won't you? Like if you're moving around, it'll be sore. The other one I would look at is just to make sure that when you're in a car, you're probably doing this already, but when you're in a car, have a rolled up towel or uh so you sit right into the chair, rolled up towel, something big, Mike, where it's going to keep that natural arch then in your back. So the way I'm
Yeah.
sitting all the way back, and then I have it. Do you have a lumbar support or a towel or anything like that that you put in your?
Yeah, I could put a towel in. Yeah, I've been kind of putting the seat upright and kind of instead of it leaning all the way back and like that. So I've kind of changed it that way, but I could put in.
No,
I've a,
yeah, have a
yeah.
towel. Man, I have like a massive blanket in there,
Okay.
um, and I just roll it up because it'll conform as you go. So
Yeah.
having the otherwise it's just rounding too much, and especially if it's a disc irritation, that's going to catch it. So you need like your towel in there, and then that's giving that support. Because I do it now with this guy, uh, you can see that's then keeping the spine in this like in a natural position.
Yes. Yeah.
The other
Gotcha.
one I do is if there was if you were doing long journeys, like so if you know you're getting into the car, do like just 10 extensions or look at this morning routine. So you're just doing 10 extensions like that. Uh
Yeah.
the arch bit is good here. Don't go pushing into pain now at the top bit. So just go
Yeah.
down, go up, but you're not going all the way up if it's sore,
Hmm.
but literally that those extensions, 10 extensions before you get into the car would make a good bit of difference. So kind of like, that thing of like too small Latin Hibera, a good start is half the work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're the things I would do. If I had a long one, I would do my extensions before I get in. I would definitely get a towel into the car, and that'll help kind of save the back a little bit. And then I would do the put slump down, push into the chair to try compress the disc. Is that causing it? If that causes it, I'd be like, okay, it's more a disc protocol. Just message me personally, and I'll send you a little voice note of like, here's what we do for a disc. If it's more like actually, it's way more on that slump test that I catch it, then it's going to be more like piriformis, bringing your hockey ball to bed, releasing it with the hockey ball a good bit, maybe try some of that sciatic flossing. Um, Bit of like foam rolling onto the hamstring, like anywhere where it's getting like when it can get tight, and then try release it off that way.
Yeah. Oh, and is there anything I should avoid? Like, should you do hamstring stretches? Some people say, "Oh God, don't do that. You drive it mad." Or is it?
You can drive it mad that way. I would do that like compression test first on
Mhm.
the seat, because if it's a disc thing, then we need to like address the disc. And if
Mhm.
it's actual like the nerve being irritated, I'm going to do this. I wouldn't do a full stretch. I would do more of the gliding, just to try calm it back down.
Grand.
Yeah.
Good.
Do those two tests and let me know which one comes up.
I will indeed. Good stuff.
Do it right now. If you're watching. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Mike. So, um, first thing the only real thing I wanted to address was I had a question. Let's see if we have any other questions. Oh yeah, I had that one. Thanks, Mike. Got that now. Someone was asking their hamstring was getting a little sore. They're getting used to the Pilates and hamstring's getting a little bit sore. What should they do? Should they start the hamstring rehabs that we have in? I would say no. My um let me share this again. My go-to right with this is a lot a lot of times, guys, when something is sore just initially, say the first week or second week, don't like remember most injuries or soreness is overload of an area. So if that's the case, don't rush in to be doing a rehab that's going to like load it more. Okay, so say for that person, my first go to would be just doing the releases. So I said to him, just do these releases uh with the ball. So like getting around the fibular head, maybe like move that a little bit better. That's that little bone on the outside of the knee. Rotate there. Did I do? Yes, that's that one there to get that moving around the fibular head. Use the massage ball, find different areas and sit on that and let that relax off. And like that, because what's probably happening is that guy's probably not used his posterior chain, his glutes and his hamstrings that much. He's a little bit of an older guy. He's about 70. So um, I don't want him having to load. He's doing the Pilates. What I want is just release that off, continue to do the Pilates, get generally stronger, and then hopefully, uh, hopefully what will happen is the hamstring releases off and we're just nice and strong with everything. Where I feel like sometimes, even with physios, they're going into panic mode of like, okay, yeah, let's strengthen the hamstring now. Let's do a load of more work. Like I always say it's a uh is this phase one? Yeah. Sorry. This is my hamstring phase one, or for sorry, calf phase one. I always say I do no hip heel drops, heel raises because if it's early, what I want to do is like the calf is working too much anyway. So let's just do some like mobility around the ankle to kind of if it's a little bit stuck, let's kind of clear that up. Let's do some balance work, get the foot muscles working a bit more than they are. Let's do some like single leg deadlift, get the muscles working here. Again, working the hamstring and glute a little bit more, a little bit isometrically through the calf, but not like doing loads of. Someone was also saying, "Oh, my calf is sore, so I do like heavy calf work." I'm like, no, like there's a difference, guys, between I've had an injury that I've stopped running with, and I need to kind of load it in a certain way, and versus I have a tight calf or my leg has been sore for like a week or two. Toes towards the shins gives a nice little stretch on the calf, but again, works the other side of the kind of tibialis anterior here, but really working the glute and hamstring. And I think I'm just repeating those then. Or running man to finish again, isometrically working it, but not like foot is on the ground. And it's only then once we've done a phase one, like so most times I'm thinking like phase one does it, go back into the Pilates and be in the Pilates and working working that end, that we don't need to be, yeah, that's like basically we're back to, we're back at go and we can collect our £200. Like, no need to go in and start loading up the calf. We will do that later, but at this stage, then it's like, okay, maybe now we need to think about stop running for a while and actually focus on getting this right. But I'm not a big fan of this like super heavy loading of the area that's sore early. And I think what's getting missed is when you're running, you're loading your calves anyway. So you don't need extra load on them. Like really, they're probably overloaded right now. So if you're going to go for something that's very like really heavy, like, and they're all out there, like, seated lunges or real loaded hip, like heel drops and heel raises, you should be stopping running at that stage. My best is like load the other areas, try release off the area that's tight and see where that gets you. Like you're loading it through running, so it's getting that load. You're trying to offset it with other stuff and see if that works. And a lot, like 90% of the time, maybe 80% of the time, that's going to work. And if it doesn't, then we can start looking at, right, let's maybe having to take a step back from running. We'll start focusing on, I only start focusing on the actual area to be a problem in like a phase 2 of most of my rehabs. Um, and then we're looking at maybe modifying the running piece that we were doing. Okay. And then lastly, I just want to go through that because I didn't in all being candid, I didn't have crazy amount to talk about today. Um, I'm doing loads on the back of wearables. Oh my God. Like the app developers, the engineer, he's here in Ireland. He's good. Like it's really good to have him. He's like close in Kilkenny, but um I have with the app developers, they're like we sent them over the belts and they couldn't load up the code for the last like 2-3 weeks. We're just going in circles. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then we have like a moles for like the new sensor covers, and then they've had to change the circuits in that. Um, so I'm going to have to order all of them. So just making sure they're all right. So it's an expensive month in the Everard household. I'm going to be down about, oh God, at least 20 grand. But hopefully it all works out. Yeah, so get the app things, get all the sensor covers, then we have to order all the new circuit boards. And then I have a girl, Orla Brady, she's been fantastic. She's working on the belt design. So we just need to make up the design of the new belts. There's going to be about 500 of them coming to us. So I just want to make sure they're as good as possible. So my head is not really in coming up with things. It's just like fighting a lot of fires at the moment with all that stuff. But yeah, like exciting stuff as well. And I actually think I think the thing to do is enjoy the ride while you're on it. Now, Johnny Depp, people can have good quotes and not be brilliant people, but with the back wear belt there, it's not like it's more like just enjoy what you're doing. You can be stressed, but it's like it's a bit of crack. It's obviously stressful, but it's also like, geez, this is great to be working on these. Same with running. I'm getting back into running now from more Hyrox or distance training. And I was doing like a sprint session, like a mile session, not a sprint session, but it was like we did 3 by 600, uh, 5 by 300, 4 by 200, 6 minutes off between the sets. Oh my God, I was doing with a bunch of young lads. It was like track and race horses. It's like I have not sprinted. We were doing like 131 for the 600s, 132. I have not run that fast in so long, and it felt so hard. Now, the thing is just to enjoy that, like the thing is like to enjoy the running, like enjoy the process of like, oh my God, can you believe I'm trying to get back to this kind of shape or doing these sessions? I'm not worry about like it might all end up in tears or I mightn't be able for it, but like, look, give it a crack and see how it goes. And the same with the rest, like just variably we all get through it. So, sometimes I think we can be a bit overly focused on the goal that we're doing it for, and forget about the God, it's nice getting healthier. It's nice, like I'm focused on better sleep for this race, but in general, I'm going to be um I'm kind of developing healthier habits and just kind of see the overall benefit of it. So that's what I kind of liked about that quote. All right, here's the Russians. Speaking of getting back into thing, this is a great one because it works on aerobic, but it does it with speed. So what you're looking at is 2 to 3 sets of 5 by 200 at 1500 to 3K pace, followed by 200 at double the fast interval time. So for me, for example, what you would do is you do 200 at like 30 seconds pace. Now you could do these at my 5K or my 3K, which would have been like 32s or 33s. The other thing now, at the moment, I wouldn't run at 3:45, so that might be 31 pace at the moment. So just do it at what you're at currently. So you're due at 200, and then we try get that down. Initially, it would be to 60 seconds. I would try to get that down to about 55 seconds, so about 5 seconds off that double the pace. Why that's brilliant is it gets you used to running fast for 200, but the overall time is going to be roughly your threshold pace. It kind of works out at that. So you're building an aerobic development. My coach, Thomas Chamney, is the one who years ago came up with this. He'd always say it's lovely because what you're doing is you're teaching your body to clear lactic. So what you're doing is you're kind of spiking lactic a little bit, but you're getting used to a really good running, efficient running pace. And then you're teaching your body when running slower, it'll feel harder, but like, can you breathe and hold off with things then? Can you like yeah, can you like clear that lactic? Can you like when you're tired and have a little bit of fatigue, stay running? And that makes your aerobic system a lot more efficient. So it builds speed while maintaining that aerobic development. The intensity will be zone 3 or zone 4 pace. With this, guys, you don't do it off the heart rate, but you'll find that your heart rate won't be more than threshold. For a high end zone 3, low end zone 4 pace of 520 per mile, 80 seconds per 800. The fast set would be in 30 seconds. The recovery would be in 50, would be like the tightest I would do, generally around 55. People getting that session. So really nice one to introduce speed, but keeping like up your aerobic. The other way, instead of like just pure sets, you could do threshold first with this. You could do like 10 minutes of, say, 2 by 5 minutes of zone 4, and then do a set of this. Or 10 minutes zone 3, one set of this, 5 minutes in zone 4. So just have a little bit of it in to increase your speed. Key things with this, guys, is, and it's the same with me on the weekend, I probably was going a little bit too fast, but even when I was doing that session, when I got to the 300s, sometimes, and it's the same when I went back to do the gym, I'm actually very good at this, is don't, you're doing the right things just doing that type of session. Okay, so a lot of times we'll put off the gym, or we'll put off the kind of more speedy type session. Yeah, especially me, I'm getting back to miles. It's just like, God, I haven't done this in ages. But then when we do the session, we can nearly get too giddy and we're like starting to sprint. You know, we start to really force it. Like I went back to the gym on Monday, hadn't been for a couple of weeks. It's like, I went back like slightly lighter weights than I was used to. I didn't just try to jump back into where I was. Because the type I was doing a different gym that I hadn't done in a few months. So I was doing like bench press. I was like, no point killing myself now. Like just go back in. I've done the hard bit of be here to do this gym today. I've done the hard bit of like actually joining these lads and doing a kind of more speedy 1500-meter, 800-meter session. That's the goal. Like the goal now is like just to get through this thing. I'm going to be getting max benefits. I'm going to be getting a lot of benefit from it. So I don't need to overly focus on that now. Oh yeah, you did the Russians 5 by 30 seconds, 55 recovery, perfect. You just did it on grass or whatever, Mike, did you?
We did it on a flat piece of road, but I was actually trying to get back to the start with 55 seconds. I found the
Yeah,
hardest. Actually, that was the
yeah.
killer.
It's so funny, isn't it? And you think, like, when you haven't been used to it, it's like it's the recovery bit that kills you.
The recovery is a hard
Yeah,
one.
yeah. And what it does is it teaches the body how to kind of clear lactic way more efficiently. So you're getting this nice run, but rather than having loads of recovery or just resting there, you have to constantly move, and it's really, really good for the aerobic side. Plus, then you get that speed in the leg. So yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed that one.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
good.
love it. It's one of my favorites to do because it's hitting a lot of the key things. And like that, then if you were, it's like not overly forcing them, realizing, look, I'll do a bit more of these, doing my strides. Same when people do strides. Sometimes they either don't do them, or when they do them, then they go hatchet. They're trying to go way too fast. It's like, no, like ease into this. Like this is regularly over time, this will get a lot better. You don't want to be forcing any of these things. Okay, let me get back to this. Excuse me. Um, so you do a warm up like 15 minutes, just how to do it, some strides and drills because you need to get ready for your fast running. So you want to do like at least three kind of faster strides to get ready. Because you don't want to just rush into it. You know, like a threshold, you might get away with no strides or whatever. Then you're doing the 200s at about 90% effort. Recover, you're getting back. So we just turn around, like say Mike to say if you did 30 seconds, turn around and try to get back there in like 55 seconds. Um, and it is between 30 and 40 seconds, it is the track back in the same time takes a while. And then between 3 and 5 minutes between the sets. And then just a 10-15 minute cool down. Uh yeah. Just go a perceived effort. Don't overly push these. You'd be surprised, like as they go on, it's the recovery back is the bit that's really tough. Okay. Let me see what this video is. Fair play. All right, we're going blind on this then. All right, so understanding lactic threshold then, when it comes a key training Spartan, when it comes to building successful training plans, understanding lactic threshold is foundational. The concept not only applies to athletes, but also serves as a broader analogy for balancing effort and recovery in various pursuits. Here's a breakdown of how lactic threshold works and why it's so impactful. So you do your test, and as you said, that tells you your different zones. We've talked about the zones before. And what that is giving you when you have your zones, as we said, is it's giving you those where you should be when you're running aerobic, where you should be when you're straining the aerobic, like a zone two, where you should be when you're at a marathon type pace to really develop the aerobic engine, and where you should be when you're at the top of your aerobic engine trying to develop that piece. Um, Also, then we do it off heart rate. So even if you're tired, you got your heart rate. So like if the pace is like because there was no I never had like Garmin that had like satellites on it like that gives you the pace you're running until I was much older. But I had a Polar watch that had a heart rate since I was like 18. So um yeah, I probably just because I never was in the habit, I never looked really at the pace I'm running. I just look at the heart rate and how I'm feeling. And you just get fitter over time. So it's great where you can use your heart rate rather than thinking I have to run X time today. Because if it's windy and you're slowing down and the heart rate goes up, you just go slower. And then the next day you might go a bit faster, and over time it gets done. Okay. Then next one then is just a recovery pyramid. So this was like, how do we base a recovery? Well, make sure that we're getting the base ones done first. So good sleep quality, quantity, routine, and mental recovery and relaxation. So we have our sleep and downtime. Other things you could do here is do have that later, but like reading your book, can you read a book before bed? So I charge my phone in a different room. Um, can you, like Brian Maher, a good friend of mine, is always saying like he's really busy in his farm, but he watches a lot of TV and he's like, I just need always that decompression before going to bed. So having those like maybe your sleep down, your um routines, your sleep hygiene that you're doing to give yourself the best chance, like same bedtime, um might be reading a book, trying to leave your phone away, that kind of thing. Nutrition and hydration then. Are you getting adequate carbohydrate, protein, hydration, your supplements to top that up? I'm having my smoothie every day after training. I've added some creatine to it. I haven't noticed a brilliant or negative benefits, so I've just kept it going. That's the great thing in the supplement game. They're laughing, aren't they? Because someone says you're good, you start doing it, and then if it doesn't get any, you don't feel any worse. You're like, all right, I'll keep this going. Then you might have your compression, active recovery, stretching, or your ice baths. Can you get a massage? Then your kind of fads or higher level would be your cryo chambers, like vibration plates, and all that stuff. So it's just like make sure that we have the basics right before we start doing some of the more like some of the more kind of mad stuff. And then this is just with the back aware about some of the exercises we had that day. I might just play this. I wonder will it play. So we're just holding that position. Not, you see the way we're not letting that back position change. Getting used to moving through the hips and legs while keeping our core in a good position. And they were just some of the ones that we did with a foam roller, not letting it arch at the very bottom. Brilliant. Okay. Guys, thanks so much. Mike, thanks a million for coming on with questions. James, thanks a million for coming on.
Thanks, so.
Bone 76. Great, guys. Any questions for next time, just let me know. And thanks again. Take care.